The Cold Case of Jack Gemini. 1. Unsolved. Damn it, this case wasn't going as well as I'd hoped. I braced myself and inched along the ledge, closer to death. I was on familiar terms with death. Too familiar. We'd become more than acquaintances of late, and I owed him a drink or two for all the close calls, near misses, and narrow escapes. I'd owe him another drink if tonight I lived. This case, the case that had brought me to this precipice, was a case that had haunted me for years. I'd solved it again and again, but it kept coming back for more. God damn it. I shuffled further along. Only cats had 9 lives, right? Just ahead, my target, a dark shape against the feeble lighting of this sector, poked out from the corner of the building, and even though its form was only a silhouette, it gave off an aura of malevolence. The damned thing was almost certainly directing its evil eye at my fragile body. I made the mistake of looking down, beyond my feet, just for a second. Oh damn. Most of my life before and after the vortex accident, I'd been under the impression I was good with heights, but now I was beginning to regret that viewpoint. My head spun and my balance quivered. I pressed myself back against the wall. Damn it. God damn it. I imagined myself falling to my death, screaming, passing out. I imagined my body, my blood and viscera spread across the pavement, roads, several buildings, the latest artwork of Sector 3. Very avant-garde. I swallowed, a pathetic attempt to rid myself of the dryness in my throat. Damn it. I had to regain my composure. Had to. Or my splattered remains would become the hottest exhibition for the bourgeois students and crusty au monde crowd of Space Station Delta. I pressed my head back against the wall behind me and away from certain death below me. I stared out into the gloom. Sector 3. This case had brought me far from home, from one side of the station to the other. It was getting out of hand. Any other client I would have given up a long time ago, but Mrs. Lafferty was one of the richest on my books, and hell knew I needed the credits. Especially after the damned fiasco with Tribeca Systems last year. Lots of hard work for a generous payout, all flushed down the toilet by a contractual loophole. Bastards. I needed a goddamn drink. Several. If I survived this fiasco. I edged closer to my prey. I found myself in front of a window, and I prayed to any deity that was listening, that whichever uptight arsehole that lived inside wasn't watching and judging my desperate endeavor. That was the last thing I needed. And they would certainly call the cops on me. I also prayed that they didn't open the window and knock me into the looming abyss below. But if I finally closed this case once and for all, my death might be worth it. Although, I'd rather be alive enough to enjoy the prize. I edged past the window and reached the corner. My target was within reach at last. I just needed to somehow duck down to the damn thing's level. That would not be an easy feat while balancing on a narrow ledge, and grab it. It sauntered toward me, and its ginger tail flitted somewhat smugly, almost as if the creature knew of my dilemma. This was closest I'd been to Mrs. Lafferty's elusive goddamned cat in over a year. I'd caught it before, more than twice before, but it always escaped, always gave me the damned runaround. I kept my back to the wall, my coat scuffed the brickwork, and eased myself downwards, squatting. It was the only way to make sure I was balanced. This was dangerous. I could feel the winds from the air filtration system whip around me and try to knock me off kilter. I had a sinking feeling in my gut that this wasn't going to go to plan. I glanced to my right. The glowing green eyes of the satanic beast glared back at me in the moonlight. Evil cat. It mewed pathetically. A scam. I knew its real intentions. It would knock me from the ledge the first chance it got. And now it was happening. The damn thing had chosen its moment to murder me. It rubbed against my legs. Bastard. I was suddenly regretting my choice to scale this death trap of an apartment complex at this time of night. I pressed myself against the wall to prevent the cat from tripping me, and it purred maniacally. There was no way I was going to fall to my death because of this foul feline. I didn't know how I was going to grab the damn thing and get down from this ledge. I really hadn't thought this through enough. I tried to reach down and seize the cat by its scruff, but the devious thing just kept looping in and around my legs. My thighs and the surrounding muscles ached with the tension of squatting. Painful. I couldn't stand, not without being knocked off balance by the feral monster, and I couldn't sit on the ledge or I'd squash the biggest payday of my life. I wasn't going to be able to keep this up forever. The longer I stayed in this position, the greater the chances of terminal velocity. God damn it. The cat curled up underneath my posterior and settled down. Fucking god damn it. The flash of blue lights and the echo of a siren trilled below. God fucking damn it. That's all I needed. The cops. With the cat safely immobile beneath me, I pushed against my aching legs and straightened out. My balance was more stable, but there would be no way I could grab the damn thing from this position. Part of me wished I was still a smoker, since now would have been the perfect time for a cigarette. Time for me to think, time for me to work out what I needed to do next. The cop car's lights still blinked and flashed below me. They would be on their way up to me, and I didn't have enough time to dawdle by thinking up the best way to capture the cat. I needed to just go for it. I took a careful step to the left and over the dozing creature. I hadn't disturbed it. The cat stayed curled on the ledge. Bastard thing. Right now it looked innocent, but appearances were deceiving. I let out a sigh of relief. I'd made it. I'd moved from my precarious position where some of my most valuable assets had been most at risk from sharpened claws. I still needed to figure out how to grab the cursed animal without falling, and I had an inkling that the thing wouldn't be wholly cooperative, despite its current serenity. I returned to a squat position by pressing my back against the wall and edging downwards. The cat was still sleeping. Or at least it appeared to be. Damned bastard beast. Its ears turned to my direction. It was listening, hearing my under-breath curses, waiting for its chance to strike. I didn't want to die with this particular unsolved case written in my obituary. Cramp began to set in within my thighs. All this squatting wasn't good for my constitution, or for my old leg injury from last year. I shifted my feet, my weight and some debris from the ledge crunched and plummeted below. I didn't see it hit the ground. That could easily have been me. Damned cat. The ache in my legs was weakening the muscles in my legs, and I needed to move into a more sustainable position. I needed to sit and let my legs dangle from the edge. I glanced at the beast to my left. It was still there, content as ever, patient as ever, waiting for my demise. Perhaps the creature was in reality death wearing a disguise, ready to collect on my debts. Bastard. I shimmied down the wall and kicked out a foot from under myself. My weight shifted onto my bad leg and I screamed, a disturbing sound for the residents of the building. The gunshot wound from last year that I hadn't looked after very well still liked to remind of that fact from time to time. I wobbled, dizzy. I caught myself before I toppled forward and propped myself up with an arm, outstretched hand pressed firmly on the ledge to my left. God damn it, I needed a drink. The memory of my wounded leg pounded throughout my muscles. I needed to move, or I'd pay the consequences with my life. One knee in my face, the other dangling over the edge. I shifted. Pressure eased from my aching muscles and hurting thigh. The ledge was narrow, too narrow for my bum, and my cheeks dug into the corners of the stone. I traded discomfort for more discomfort, but at least I was safer. The ginger cat still slept. Apparently. It purred, its ears were still focused on me. It was listening. Waiting. Comfortably. Unlike me. Even my hands were uncomfortable. I gripped the hard and rough edge, determined not to slip. The cat, my ultimate foe, was curled up, balanced, unafraid. I sighed. I desperately needed a cigarette and a drink. God damn it. Blue light still flashed below. The cops wouldn't take long to find me, or my remains if I fell. my organs would be spread across the streets and my bones would leave an impression in the roof of their autocar if my aim were true. I couldn't help but survey my surroundings, up here in the dark, cold heights of Sector 3. I could see most of the sector, or at least its lights. Pinpoints and streams of white and yellow, illuminating one of the most affluent places on Space Station Delta. Flowers in the dark. It was beautiful. And a reminder of how shit my home sector was. The social and economic divide was a permanent fixture, and it was never going to improve, only widen. Damn, I was getting too old for this shit. Something wet and cold prodded my hand, the nose of the beast. It was awake. It sniffed me, sized me up for its next meal with a bejeweled collar that sparkled with demonic intent as it slinked close. I daren't move. I didn't want to scare the damned creature away. Not after what I'd been through today. I hadn't climbed onto this ledge for nothing. Its wet nose, damn thing, trailed snot along my fingers. It licked sandpaper. Moist sandpaper. The bloody thing was taunting me. And I had no choice but to let it. For now. I needed patience. Any sudden move to grab the cat or to pin it could lead to either the cat fleeing, me falling, or both. If I was fast, if I didn't think about it too much, I could lift my hand suddenly and hastily, and grab the damned beast by its scruff. I looked down at the thing. It stared back, unmoving. No sniffing anymore, no licking. I got the feeling it was reading my thoughts, waiting for me to make a mistake. It was now or never. I took a deep breath, mentally prepared myself, and lifted my hand, the one nearest the beast, quickly. I felt a brief tremble as my balance on the ledge destabilized and my palm careened at the creature's neck. I missed. My knuckles grazed with the stone, but that wasn't the end of it. The cat, the damned monstrous beast, flew at my stricken hand with claws and teeth. A furry ball of death and destruction. God damn it. I reeled back instinctively, and it was the worst possible thing I could have done. I slipped. My backside slipped from the edge. My spine scraped the stone and the back of my head echoed against it. It all happened so fast. My heart organs jumped and I almost felt my soul, if I had one, leave my body. I fell.